What's up guys, for this vlog we are back at the lodge. My plan is to do the typical $100 buy-in, and if I lose it, buy in bigger and run it up. This short stack strategy has been something I've talked to people a lot about this month. I'll talk about it more at the end of the video. I'd like to run this 100 up as much as I can just to show that your upside is not as limited as you might think playing this way. But at the same time, I'm not going to force it. In poker, you gotta have the right balance of aggression and finding the right spots. I'm also coming into this session a bit hungry, so at some point I'm gonna have to eat. You don't want to have long sessions without sleep or food. It's like being on tilt. Let's see what we can get going. 10 minutes in, I'm dealt ace jack in middle position, and I juice up the pot with a $10 raise pre-flop. I don't go crazy over ace jack or ace 10, but I like this spot in later position with a short stack. We get 4 callers, so if I hit top pair, I'll likely be good since I can roll out queens or better, or ace king or ace queen. I hit top pair on the flop. Let's bet half pot, see if we can take this down.
25.
Next hand, ace 8 suited, under the gun. Small blind raises 17, and we go 5 ways to the flop.
4 or 5 players.
Now, comment down below what you would do here. Flush draw with an over is very live. So if you get it all in, even against king queen, king 10, you're favored. And you can make max value hitting the flush or maybe even the ace. I decided to just call, see if I hit.
4 players.
So unless you see people
What's up? Check. Check. Check.
he's doing a podcast.
Perfect river card. Anybody with a 10 has a straight and is not folding.
All in.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Wait, dude, Mike, you're not supposed to. They have.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
8-7 of hearts. Bad position, but sneaky hand to win a good pot if it can hit.
Right. It makes you so sweet. It is.
7 players.
Great flop. Open-ended straight flush draw. Comment what you're doing here. Should I play it aggressively like I maybe should have done with my last flush draw? I'm favored against many hands, including ace queen. 35?
35. Oh, yeah, no, those are 3 players. Check. All in.
I got a little angel on one shoulder telling me to fold, and a little devil on the other shoulder telling me to gamble. My brain is telling me statistically I'm not favored anymore. The odds I'm getting are not bad, but we're still only in for 100, so I'm okay folding and finding a better spot.
Right now, just have a pair of queens.
After you're done, here we go.
Yes. Ooh. Oh man, my hearts are dead. I was dead to a straight. When you run out of time at the lodge, you have to add at least $20. This gives you about 2 hours of play. This, along with the food I buy, has brought my stack down considerably. We're only about an hour in, still on the first bullet, so let's stick in there. I changed seats, and it's bomb pot time. Everyone checks around the flop. Check. The turn goes checks around, and I river the nut flush on one board and 2 pair on the other. I think potting is okay since I have 2 pair on the other board and could possibly scoop. But when you've got one side locked up, it's best to try to get as many callers as you can. So I go with $20. The button raises, likely on the top board with the flush. I only have 100 behind, so there's no reason to scare anybody off by raising. Call.
Nuts on top.
Nuts on bottom. Nice.
I was hoping you wouldn't re-raise.
Yeah.
That puts you on that. Yeah.
Don't worry, I knew how to play it.
On the bottom, I was hoping for an ace or something.
Now, keep in mind, this gentleman's stack is $500. I want to show y'all why it's important to maintain patience and discipline. I never want to call anyone out or criticize their game, but I think it's important for y'all to recognize how quickly your stack can change after making just one mistake or losing one hand. 30 minutes later, we're on the button. We are 6 ways to the flop, with one stack being short.
15, all in. Call.
There's a common situation where you can go multi-ways to the flop with the side pot. In these situations, a lot of times it'll check around and you can see free cards. So knowing that, you can widen your range a bit. A few days ago before this session, I actually caught $40 like 6 or 7 ways with 6 deuce suited. And I hit trip 6s to take down a pretty good pot. We don't end up hitting this hand, but I just wanted to talk about this situation because it's a scenario that comes up sometimes.
Get the queen. Yeah, there was an ace.
Yeah, you did want
All right.
Nah, blink that out, but... Next hand, I forget to press the record button, but I simulated it here. Middle position raises $17 pre-flop, and we go 3 ways. I decide to check, which I don't like doing this most of the time when I flop an ace out of position because you can allow sets and 2 pairs to get there. The button raises, which tells me he should have an ace. I can check raise, but I'm never really a big fan of check raising top pair. I call, and typically once I slow play top pair, I'm just going to play it conservative and maintain pot control. I do so by raising $20 on the turn to see where I'm at. After getting 2 calls, I figure I should be good right now. We river trips here, but a potential flush could be had by middle position. I bet $25. Middle position folds, and the button actually says, well, I can't fold 3 aces here, and he decides to call. I take down a good size pot to get over $300. 10 minutes later, I'm down aces in early position. Unfortunately, nobody raises me, so we go 5 ways to the flop. I flop top set, so nobody should really have an ace here. If they do, then hopefully they raise, drawing dead. It checks around.
Yeah, 8 play.
Turn is a blank. I call, slow playing more. 2 pairs should be raising big in this spot. River is great. Only 4-3 beats me.
Yeah, 45 to 20.
Let me know how you would have played this. I think this was a hand where I was so strong that I'm not sure I would have made much more. We can see this guy who bet the turn has a 6, 6-9 or 6-5, I believe. I wasn't going to make much off of him. I think this was a hand where you flop so strong that nobody really has anything and any sort of aggression is just going to get folds. Yes, low playing big is risky and can allow them to catch up, but I was really only worried about straight outs getting there. And once I slow play, I make sure to maintain pot control and not let the pot get out of hand and just make the reads if big raises come through. Very next hand, I wake up with ace king. I use the same strategy and just raise 10. This time I face a 3-bet of $35. This of course is a fine spot to 4-bet big, especially out of position. I don't really want to commit my whole stack against pairs though. And this guy that 3-bet just sat at my table and he has me covered. So I'll go ahead and see the flop with his hand. This time if I hit top pair I will bet. If not, I'll see what action takes place. I'm fine with completely missing on ace king and losing the minimum. This is not a good river card. I still want to place a blocker bet. If he doesn't have a jack, he might think I do since I just bet small on the turn. In this spot, I could have made more, of course, but it's always easy to say after the fact. I usually like to see a flop with ace king. Unless I have a good read pre-flop that my opponent has just high cards or my opponent is short stacked, then yes, I'll play ace king aggressively pre, but usually I like to see if that ace or king comes out. This bomb pot, I wake up to aces, all offsuit, but I still like it. Let's flop an ace. Check.
Saturday night pre-roll players, you got a little under 2 minutes left on your break. Please start making your way back to the table.
25.
I've gotten kings a couple times, missed. Aces here, miss. Sucks, but it's all right. We'll find better spots. And then look what comes at the end, the ace. Jeez. Now, there's no way I was going to stick around here. The guy with king 9 had about 800, so it would have been a crazy gamble, but come on, dealer. Give me that ace on the flop. It's 9 o'clock, bomb pot time.
All right, let's go. We have 8 players to the bomb pot. Action will start.
Checks around means my jack should be good here. I am dodging a lot of cards on this board though, but with a pair and a big flush draw on the other side, I like where I'm at. I bought it.
120. Player calls 120. It's another call for 120.
Yeah, easy.
What's up, EO? Hey, what's up, man? Are you on brush or what?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. I will take a fill, please.
I got you, my man.
Three callers, not what I was hoping for.
Main. Check. Slow down. Let's see a couple winners. 8-7, 8-7 both ways. 3 jacks. 8-7. Ace-9. 3 jacks.
Oh, wow. How did nobody have clubs there? Jeez. I wanted that 7 the other way, but it didn't matter. Thought you cost me.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate you. If the river flips, I make more, but overall, I'm just happy nobody had clubs. This hand gets real interesting. I wake up with a suited ace.
10. Great. $15 out.
Now, I think I mentioned this before. When an early position player calls and then leads out on the turn, this is usually a sign of strength or a big draw. Now, it's not a huge raise, so it could just be that draw, but I feel good with this board giving me the flush draw, so this is a must call.
25, we set on the river.
He bets 25 in the dark, guys, and one thing you'll see is there's many people who love acting in the dark. I recommend just don't do this. There are very few spots where this is a good move, I think. I want to discuss this topic later, and if you have an opinion, I'm interested to know. Put it in the comments, but I've just never found a good reason in doing this. I find more bad reasons not to do it, if anything. I hope that wasn't a bad river. What is it, 25?
Yeah.
2 pair.
46, yeah.
Man, look at that turn. Jeez, he had a straight. Sick river, but I think him betting 25 in the dark saved me a lot for sure. Bad river, but luckily he made it cheap. 30 minutes later, I raised $10 with pocket 4s in position.
Yeah.
And I got my chips out here.
Actually, check.
I don't have anyone on a queen, and I'm crushing this board, so let's make it small to keep them in it.
Last name.
Oh, yeah.
Reyes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's my last name. I don't know her. They asked her what her last name is. Same as mine.
All right, heads up. Checks.
I check here to show weakness, to set him up for a bluff, or to set me up for a bluffy looking raise on the river.
Player is 488 next hand.
What's up, man? How you doing? Hey. Welcome, brother. Thank you. 40. Set of 4s. Set of 4s.
Thank you, man. Last hand of the night. I forget to press record again, so I got y'all with the simulation. I have ace-8 off. We go 5 ways to the flop. Not a big fan of these offsuit aces. I mainly look to flop 2 pair or trips with my kicker. That's exactly what happens. This is not a spot to slow play, guys. If you lead out, they will not put you on an 8. If you check raise or check call and lead out on the turn, it'll be a bigger tell that you have an 8 than if you just lead out right here. And if you lead out in this spot, you will get called by 2 pairs that you have crushed, as well as open-ended straight draws like Jack-10. Even 2 overcards that are drawing dead will often call this bet. The small blind actually raises. This is a looser player. I know he doesn't have pocket 9s. He maybe has Jack-10, but I'm hoping he has an 8 like me. I call with the hope that he bets into me. He actually checks the turn. Jack-10 and 8-7 did get there, but I'm more than sure I'm good. So I bet 40. River is a disaster 10. Any jack or 6 beats me now, as well as pocket 10s or 10-8. Fortunately, he checks. I check as well. He snap shows pocket 5s, which are no good, and I get my stack to 800. At this point, I still want to stay and get my stack up to 1,000 for the vlog, but it's been 4.5 hours. My phone is on low battery, so I decide 800 is a good number that I'm happy with. I was very happy with this session. Played well, disciplined, and yeah, I showed that your upside is not as capped or limited as you might think when you play a short stack. I started doing this in late November and I found some consistency, and December I had the best month of my life. I remember I ran one up to 1800 and that really jump started a streak. A couple of times my first buy-in went down to like $40 and I ran that up to 800, 900. I'm not saying that I could short buy all the time and do that like it's nothing, but I think gameplay and discipline is more important than your starting stack size. I do want to buy in 400 or 500 for one of these upcoming vlogs, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you guys think, my session, how I played the hands, these videos in general. Thanks for the support. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see y'all next week.